A common theme on my channel is doing self-research, self-understanding, and questing out and trying to seek your connection with divinity or the universe on your own. It's always going to be a common theme of mine because it's what I personally do and I think is the best. The reason I think it's the best is because I don't think any of us have all the answers. I think we're doing guesswork and we're doing our best to try to understand it. One of the things that I recommend doing in this quest for knowledge and understanding is looking at teachings from a varying different degree of cultural traditions and wisdom sayings, and just see if something resonates with you. For me, and if you've seen my videos before, you've heard me say multiple times, I like some of the Reconstruction stuff, which today we call Druidry, which usually comes from Welsh and Irish traditions. Some of the Reconstruction stuff from Scandinavia, which is often referred to as either Norse paganism, heathenry, or Ausethru. And then Taoism. I like a lot of the spiritual philosophies of ancient China. Now, I understand some people have distaste for modern China. Just remember, their government might be pretty messed up, but their government also tried to snuff out a lot of these teachings and things that were individual thoughts and thinking for yourself. Texts like the Tao Te Ching or some of the local temples, and they don't like that stuff. But I do. I think a lot of that is really fascinating. It's one of the reasons why one of the many heroes that I have are sometimes Chinese heroes, like Bruce Lee. I think Bruce Lee taught us a lot. Now, with Taoism, and I've done other videos on Taoism before, they don't seem very popular, but I think there's a lot of wisdom to be found in them, so I highly encourage folks to look into them. I do want to say briefly, you can check out that video where I talk about Taoism in 2 videos as of the making of this video. And I basically talk about something to keep in mind, that there is philosophical Taoism and religious Taoism. They are different. There's also Western philosophical Taoism, which is what most of us refer to when we say Tao. So I want to acknowledge that my view on Taoism and my experience from reading the books that I have or articles or whatnot is very much an influence of a Western idea, philosophy, and culture attempting to understand Eastern philosophy known as Taoism. One of the texts that I recommend for looking into it, which I'm a pretty big fan of, is 365 Tao. Now, I've had this book for quite some time. I've read it many times. And I tried to really quick find a couple of the sayings that stand out to me. But basically what this book is it's daily meditations. The author's name is Deng Ming Dao. You can see it down here at the bottom if you want to check it out. And each of the pages will have, so it's obviously 365 different teachings and lessons. It'll have a name, a word, a day it's associated with. There's a saying, and then a breakdown for what to think about with that saying. So it's a really good book to just get you in that mindset. Apparently the author has done a whole bunch of different teachings when it comes to Eastern philosophy, like Taoism, has studied stuff like Tai Chi Chuan. I've studied Tai Chi Chuan, love Tai Chi Chuan. Tai Chi is actually a philosophy as well. Tai Chi Chuan is the martial arts. Yes, actual martial art, not just slow-moving meditation or moving meditation. There's actual applications to it, but we can debate that in a future video. But with this one specifically here, like I said, they take some lessons that are easily accessible, makes it really good just to read a lesson a day. In fact, my Obod training, the stuff that I've done with Obod, now Obod is Druidry versus Druidism. Druidism being a religion, Druidry being a spirituality. And there are lessons which are called Gwersu or Gwersi, which means in Welsh it's a ray of light. And they do a similar thing. There's like usually a triad that they'll teach you and then a piece of wisdom, and you're supposed to do one a week. This is one a day. So it's a similar idea. It's in the same vein, and that's why I'm sharing it, because I like these different types of, here's something for you to sit and think about. Meditation is about sitting and thinking about an idea and mulling it over and just enveloping yourself in it. There's also mindfulness meditation and trying to empty yourself, but oftentimes about focusing on something and trying to let it resonate with you and just feel it out. That's the point of this daily meditation, is to take these concepts and ideas. One of the sayings that stood out to me, and I can't find it, could have sworn it was in this book. I tried flipping through it. Maybe it's in there. I'll find it again eventually. I put these bookmarks in here today. I've had this book, I don't even remember when I got it. I definitely over 20 years ago. And the saying is, I chop wood, I carry water. This is my magic. Love it. Absolutely love it. No idea where it comes from. So if you know, put it in the comments below. If it's in this, if you know the page it's on, please help me out. the idea of I chop wood, I carry water, this is my magic. So first of all, a lot of people that get into some of the stuff that I talk about in my videos are very focused on magic, mysticism in some way, shape, or form, or at least I would imagine that many of you who are drawn here are interested in it, because I am. The idea of taking it out of the supernatural, arcane, and occult, and as I've argued many times with magic, talking about its definition and how it's used today, that even modern science is magic, art and music is magic, this idea of simplifying it and looking at the mystical and the mundane everyday stuff and really marveling at what we take for granted. The ability to chop wood and to carry water. If you go back to prehistoric times or just tribal times where people didn't have the tools to do so yet, the absolute mind-blowing world we live in, we take for granted because we grew up in it. So taking a moment to look back and to realize the marvels all around us and how powerful a simple act is, to me, I think is very profound. The other two that I want to point out in this, because I want to make these videos on the shorter side, is on page 11 about healing, because I love healing. Those of you who have not been around, I keep saying that. So if you've been around, you're probably getting sick of me saying that. Anyway, healing. I'm a healer. I like healing. I like spiritual healing. So fire cools, water seeks its own level. I just love that saying. And that is on day 11. And then there's this part down here, like I said, no matter how extreme a situation is, it will change. It cannot continue forever. Thus, a great forest fire is always destined to burn itself out. A turbulent sea will become calmer. Natural events balance themselves out by seeking their opposites. And this process of balance is at the heart of all healing. And it goes on, but it's like, that's what you're supposed to sit and meditate on for the day. How cool is that? And then another one that really stood out to me that I've always liked is express yourself. That is meaning. I like that too, because Bruce Lee, as I'd mentioned, I'll talk about this in a different video. He talks about his philosophy on martial arts is about self-expression. So it resonates with me, and I just love it. I also like to express myself. I love all forms of creative self-expression. Always have. That's why one of the reasons I make videos. I like to express myself. I like to share. And I think it's neat to see someone in their element with something that they enjoy and they're passionate about to express themselves. So just a little bit about express yourself. This is 347, and this is clarifying, right over here. And it says, ask yourself each day, what remains unexpressed within me? Powerful stuff here. Whatever it is, bring it out. But be judicious. The rantings of mad people do not yield greater freedom. Those who are with Tao use expression to find greater understanding of themselves, and so find liberation from ignorance and circumstance. And I can say all day about this meditative, relaxing Tao connection all I want, but I'm still human. I'm trying to express myself as I am, but I try to calm myself down for videos. I love to incorporate this stuff, but that doesn't mean you have to live it every waking moment, nor that you will even if you study it. The idea here is to attempt to reforge yourself through your own will by focusing your mind on things that'll help open your mind up to the universe around you and your place inside of it. So I personally like what the Western American version of Taoism, as some suggest to practice it. What about you? Do you do anything with Tao? Maybe you're actually a Taoist from China and you can tell me your perspective on how Westerners view it, how different it might be from your own practice. Either way, look forward to hearing your comments below. Thanks for watching, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one.